And here we are on Sunday afternoon, almost Sunday evening, with 6 totally stripped and cleaned voice modules, SIP modules. I keep calling these SIP modules because of the package type they are is a single inline package, i.e. all the pins are in a line. Normally with a chip you have 2 legs or 2 sides of legs, which is basically a DIP, dual inline package such as that. But these are SIPs, SIP custom, sometimes called riser boards, sometimes called daughter boards. But yes, now they're stripped of their coating, they look pretty good. Now I did leave them in the acetone slightly longer than I needed to, just to get the backs clean. There's no real need to do that. There's nothing on the back, and some of them have come up pretty pristine. Others have got some marks on them, but I'm happy with that. So there's six ready to go back in the board, and a plate full of wreckage, which seems to be an awful lot for just 6 chips. But the only one I'm slightly worried about is this one, which seems to be the worst made of them all. The solder's very blotchy, and this is the chip where the pins lifted when I took the package, took the coating off. So I want to put that in the board on the very end of the line, just so I know where it is, basically. I'm not sure if that's voice module 1 or voice module 6. I'll have to look at some of the other doco online where someone's worked that out. So it's solder time. These 5 are going to go in. Well, going to go in last. I'm going to mount this one in what is SIP. It's IC13 on the board, which is here. They mount that way round. You can't get them in the wrong way round because of the pattern of the pins. So that's just going to drop in there and flip it over and solder it. Now the trick for these, when you're soldering like this, is just to get hold the chip in with your hand underneath, solder one pin just to give it some structural integrity, and then just check by eye to see if you're happy with the positioning. And in that case it's leaning at a very funky angle, so you've only got to melt one pin, straighten it up, let that pin set, and there you go, that's looking good. So you then flip it over and you solder the rest in, and you go back to the one you did first and just give it a touch up, because you weren't really that fussed about getting a good joint initially, because you just really wanted it as a test mount. So there we go. Let's give it a touch up. Looking pretty good. Now this is the one that was also fitted at a funny angle before because the legs were trimmed. So as you might be able to see, you may not be able to see, some of the legs stick through a lot further than others, but that is looking good. So that's one in. The others just in no particular order, basically because they all look virtually identical apart from that slightly clumsily made one. So same deal again, just solder one leg in just to get some degree of support on the leg. Flip it over, do the slight, it doesn't really matter whether these are dead straight, but you might as well. Actually that's wicked the solder up, so there's nothing on this side to take a look at to melt. So okay, that's pretty good. It's up against another transistor, so it's not going to go dead straight. It's quite hard to solder with this camera in the way. It's quite hard to see what I'm doing, so apologies if this isn't particularly well centered or looks a bit clumsy. And as usual, the solder fumes are blowing right in my face. It doesn't do it when I'm not recording. Okay, it's got some good joints on all of those. And that's number 2. So what I'll do, I will carry on soldering those in, and the next step will be to plug this back into the synth and see what we've got.